That lack of activity was during Chris Ortwine's watch, was it not?
2009, yes.
2008 also?
2008 also, but there was considerable
A few years
funds.
that Chris was still director, even though she did a very fine job of getting the money for the State Street improvements, there might not have been any opportunities in 2008 and 2009 for grant funding. I mean, I don't know. We'd have to go back and revisit those last 2 years. It just seems to me that, you know, you went this way, and we raised $1 million for the borough, and now we're upset that nothing happened in 08 and 09, and nothing's happening in 10 because of the reasons you've cited. Where are we going wrong? I mean, it just seems to me that our appetite is, we had a great meal, and now we're looking for another great meal, and it may not be in the cards for us to have that great meal right now. I don't know.
But Bob, I guess the question back to you is, well then, what is your opinion about this Section 2 of this resolution? Is it still valid?
I don't know that it's invalid. I don't know that they're not doing it. I don't know what did we ask them for? What did we ask the Newtown Corporation to do for us in 2010?
I think this is directly...
What did we ask for them in 2009, 2008?
This resolution is directly, at least in my opinion, related to the Main Streets program, which ended in 2009. 2008 was the last year, if I'm not mistaken.
But there was some sense that there would be a continued effort on the part of the Newtown Corporation to do historic preservation in the township and in the borough. But what did the township and what did the borough ask them to do? I don't know the answer to that question. So if there's a laundry list of things that they were supposed to do as a result of their fundraising efforts, and they failed to do that or they ignored it, I have a different perspective on this. But if we didn't ask them for anything, why are we holding them up, saying you're not doing it?
So then, therefore, this is no longer valid, because we no longer ask them to do it, and they no longer offer to do it.
Well, what is it, chicken or an egg? Are we supposed to be driving the agenda by saying we're participating in the Newtown Corporation because we think it's going to benefit historic preservation, benefit the borough, benefit the township? And you may recall we did have a joint meeting when we all first got on council with the township, and at that time we were all asked for our thoughts on how the Newtown Corporation would benefit the borough and the township. Someone show me a laundry list of what it is either organization asked for, and I can make a better decision. Right now, you're going to be asking me to make a decision in a vacuum where we're sitting here saying, well, heck, they didn't do anything. Well, what were they supposed to do? It's like performance appraisals. And your boss knows what he expects you to do Monday through Friday. What did we expect the township, what did we expect the Newtown Corporation to do? What did the township expect? And we're grading them without the benefit of failure or success. We're in a vacuum in my mind.
Well, I think it fundamentally gets to the point that without the Main Street program, the purpose and you know, a lot of this was self-driven because of the Main Street program. It was done exceptionally well. Mm-hmm. And therefore, when that went away, it seemed like the corporation is a bit of adrift. If, in fact, that this is a purpose of the corporation and that we will have an expectation of you know, facade grants and things happening to actually achieve that section, that's a different story. I haven't heard that.
Nor have I. We're on the same page.
Yeah. Well,
but we're looking to throw a rock through somebody's window,
Yeah,
and I don't understand why.
I think if we get down to the real issue of whether we have two different organizations, and I'm going to say very briefly on this. We had the JD&C. We knew what it did. It ended. The Newtown Corporation took over. It's still trying to figure out itself. It hasn't really done that yet, and that's another story. The question is the Brewfest earning money, raising money to support protecting architectural heritage of Newtown Borough? I have seen nothing anywhere, any advertisements. The last advertisement or thing that I saw about the purpose of the Brewfest was to raise money to support the marketing efforts of the Newtown Corporation. Marketing efforts is not protecting the heritage of Newtown Borough. There's nothing that's been said is that based on the money that the Newtown Corporation expects to earn, that X amount will be put aside for one particular purpose. I haven't seen anything saying that the proceeds from the Brewfest will support grants to improve facades, for example, or for anything like that. It says nothing like that. It says to support the activities or the marketing efforts of the Newtown Corporation. Every time it's in the paper, it's advertised as a marketing arm, a self-proclaimed economic force for the borough and the township. We never agreed that that's what the Newtown Corporation was supposed to do for us. But in any case, that's certainly not what the reason behind this resolution was, and that was, is it in fact supporting and protecting the architectural heritage of Newtown? And I haven't seen anything yet. I would have expected when I sent the letter to get something back to say, well, but of course we have so much money set aside for this activity, and this is what we're going to do with it. Or let me show you the things that we have done with it. The only thing that was mentioned was that money was given for a facade grant, which is old news. And the only reason that that facade grant was actually paid for and that person actually received his money was that council assisted him, because when he went to the Newtown Corporation and said, this money is owed to me, what he received back was an answer saying, I don't know anything about it. So, no. And it was only after we pursued it and assisted that the Newtown Corporation said, oh yes, we'll find that, we'll take care of that. So I think that to use that as an example at all, I think is incorrect. Now, it would have been so easy if the Newtown Corporation in fact was using this, had this as a purpose, to say, here's our budget, and in our budget, we're budgeting so much. Now, I understand that the organization is going through a lot of changes, and so on. Sometimes you can't pay for something any particular year because of other things that are going on. And I'm sensitive to that, and I can understand it. Everyone has a budget in which they put things aside for something else. They say, okay, this year we don't have any money to do whatever, but we're putting aside so much so that next year we have it, and this is what we intend to do with it. And I haven't seen anything that looks like that at all. And that's my concern.
So I comment on that for just 1 second, Julian. That has come under my committee. And as I said, I have been negligent in doing that work of that committee at this point in time. As I said before, I have found that there are greater needs in Newtown Corporation right now than to address the issues that are before the design committee. Because without a budget, without guidelines, without bylaws, without the things that we need to function, Newtown Corporation is not functioning the way that it needs to, so therefore it would not be able to provide any of those things that you are looking for. In honesty, Bob's point is very well taken. No, we have not received anything from the borough, nor have we received anything from the township as far as a list of things that need to be addressed. But that's what the design committee is supposed to do, to present these things to Newtown Corporation and likewise put back towards the borough and the township as things that need to be done. Do I think that the township and the borough should have input on those things? That's up to the borough and the township. But to set a laundry list down to us, since we have said to you that we're only looking for you for help for one thing, I'm not sure that that's the right way to go about it either. So you have to look at it and say, what input do you want in Newtown Corporation? Do you want any? Do you want support? Do you want us to abide by the historic things that are going to come down as far as facade grants or lighting or those types of things? Then you have to give us that direction, and Bob's point is very accurate from that standpoint. There has been nothing in the 2 years or 2.5 years that I've been on there that has come from either the borough or the township other than the financial support.
On that note, did previous councils have a laundry list of things related to this item?
To my knowledge, no. Paul? No?
No.
Okay.
So the fact that
But how did we do the renovations to State Street? I mean, there had to be somebody guiding it from
That was done by the grants that were applied for and gotten.
One on council had to be stood up and got counted on that. Yes, we want to do this. This is how the borough is going to benefit from this association. I would also like to point out that we are the minority partner here. The township's the majority partner. Okay? And any actions we may take with respect to this resolution could have a profound impact on the township in looking in our direction, because they're relying on funds from Brewfest to do whatever they're going to do with them. And I would ask our solicitor tonight whether or not our actions might be construed by the township as being having a negative impact on their association with the Newtown Corporation as it relates to fundraising for whatever purposes it's being raised for. I'm worried about that, and I have been worried about that.
I'm
The
confused.
township is the majority partner. If we pull this resolution and the Brewfest has to be
There's
canceled,
nothing in here that has any relationship to the township.
we are a partner in this with the township.
They did not sign
We
this
are
resolution.
a partner in this Newtown Corporation with the township.
Okay.
We have put up so much money, they have put up so much money. We've been joined at the hip for the last 5 or 7 years, okay? We've been working with them, and if I were a supervisor up in the township, I'd be looking with a curious eye as to what is going on in the borough, and why are they putting in jeopardy this up-and-coming Brewfest by pulling this resolution? That's my concern.
Okay.